So hi, welcome here to most in the Czech Republic for this next round 4 of the European Sidecar Series. And Ian, that's the man on pole once again.
Yeah, Steve Webster, Paul Woodhead, stunning time in qualifying. They've beaten the solo record round here as well, I think, and really put the opposition in its place.
And only with 4 minutes to go as well.
Yeah, Tom Hanks wasn't very happy about that, but he did say he was expecting it.
So as we take a little wander down through the grid, that of course is Tom Hanks there with his passenger Phil Biggs, and just giving Tom a quick polish on the visor, that is.
Billy Gowross and Peter Berglund there, they qualified in a superb 4th place. 5th on the grid, number 55, Mike Rosher and Adolf Harney. They've had a terrible season so far. That's the local favourites, Thomas Fuchel, there's Yuri Pertelek, the passenger. Scott Parnell and Steve Norbury, good to see them out in the UEM Superside Series. They've just come back from the TT where they had 2 third places.
This is their first ride as well, isn't it? Here we go then, they're under starters orders, so this is round 4 of the series. Underway, you remember round 3, rained off at Rijeka, but we've got dry conditions here. We have had a little bit of rain, but it's all gone.
Yeah, and it looks like Steve Webster getting swallowed up by the pack on that long run up into this fast chicane at the top of the straight.
Well, let's have a look at that again, Ian, this time from the onboard camera on Steve Webster's, and we'll see how slow he is off the line. Just look at this, being passed by just about everybody.
Yeah, that clutch really grabbed off the line there, and he had to be very careful with it, so a really poor start. I mean, there's Thomas Fuchel and Yuri Pertelek up behind Webster. You wouldn't expect to see that.
Well, on board with Steve Webster as we look back to the front, and of course, no surprise there. We've got Tim and Tristan Reeves in second.
Well, it is
a new race leader.
That is a surprise, Kenny. That's Pekka Pivarinta and Peter Waugh, and they've come from the 4th row of the grid to lead on this first lap.
Van Gils there in the number 4 outfit. Looks like, is that Manon just behind them? I think it is.
Yeah, and that's Steve Webster. He's languishing down in about 8th or 9th position at the moment. Terrible start from Castrol Suzuki.
Well, we're actually looking at Paul Woodhead at work in the office there, in the chair. Gives you some idea of the amount of work that these passengers have to do, particularly around a circuit with as many turns as this one has.
Yeah, tremendous strain on the passengers. Very little time for rest round here, and you can see Paul moving from left to right to left to right.
So back out in front again, that is Van Gils there. Martin and Tony, his son, in the chair. We're back on board once again with Steve Webster and Paul Woodhead. I think that's the number 14 outfit that they overtook just a moment ago, but they are beginning to make up ground on the leading group at the moment, Ian. Yeah,
that looks like Pekka Pivarinta still at the front of this field heading Tim and Tristan Reeves. That's a really good ride from Pekka Pivarinta. He's using the Yamaha engine, and that's not considered to be as good as the Suzuki, and well, as I say that, Tim Reeves just pulls out the slipstream and sneaks into the front.
So we're back to almost normality. Reevesy leads, but Webster back there, where would you say is about 6th at the moment?
Well, he's up in front of Mannanen there, so I think that's 5th position at the moment. He passed Mannanen along the straight. So Reeves leads it, Pivarinta from Finland 2nd, Tom Hanks and Phil Biggs their 3rd, Mike Rosher and Adolf Harney in 4th. They'll be well pleased with that. They've had such disappointment this year. 4th place, good result for them at the moment. And I think that's Van Gils behind, so he's made up places from his 11th starting position.
Yeah, pretty good considering he had what one would describe as a very sick engine in practice.
Yeah, not a good session for him at all. And Steve Webster and Paul Woodhead now right behind Martin and Tommy Van Gils, so they're up in 6th position and really making up ground fast.
You have to ask and beg this question: if Webster was made to start a couple of seconds off the back of the grid, could he still win the race?
Well, I'll answer that in a minute, Kenny, but just in the background there we saw a retirement from Mike Rosher and Adolf Harney. Their season just gets worse and worse. Well, yeah, Webster, he just seems to have the best all-round package at the moment, and he can do anything on that machine, so I guess we're going to see if he can still win the race from starting that far back.
Well, with the amount of world championships that man has under his belt, I'm not at all surprised. Has to be one of the most experienced sidecar racers now in the world, still competing.
Definitely, yeah, and the others are really playing catch-up on all that experience as well as the machinery.
It's Nice to see a few of these young lads out there now competing at this level of Sidecar race. In particular, Tim and Tristan Reeves. They really have come from absolutely nowhere last year to where they are today, and that's a remarkable leap in progress.
Yeah, another British pair there, Brian Pedder and Rob Stedman. They're having a good ride. They've been doing the British Championship this year and now venturing into the European scene. They're just holding off Billy Galros. So Billy was fourth on the grid, made a poor start, obviously. Pivarenta there still doing a good job pressurising Tim and Tristram Reeves at the front. Tom Hanks and Phil Biggs slowly creeping up to those first two.
Just goes to show, doesn't it, when Pivarenta gets a good start, he can run with some of our top guys.
Yeah, he's the Finnish champion, so he's no slouch, and yeah, he's really beginning to show his worth in the last couple of races.
Back on board once again with Paul Woodhead and Steve Webster. Woody, you see, he's the man doing, well, I'd say all the work, and I'm sure Steve's doing actually some, but...
Yeah, it's very physical driving one of these sidecar outfits, when particularly in your upper body, but the passenger has to be supremely fit, as they're using every single muscle.
So they're beginning to close up on the leading group, and it looks like Tom Hanks is the one directly in front of them, so that should now, what, put them in fourth?
Yeah, Steve Webster up to fourth place, but Hank's not able to do anything about Pivarenta at the moment.
Maybe Tom is playing that waiting game that we spoke about earlier.
Yeah, tyres are going to play a bit of a part in this race. It was very damp track only half an hour before the start, and people were wondering whether it was going to be intermediate tyres or slicks, but thankfully now it is dry, although there is a couple of spots we've seen that are still slightly damp, so perhaps just being a bit cautious in the early stages.
Well, considering the actual race was delayed for 2 hours due to a heavy cloudburst, I think we're maybe counting up. Oh, passes, Hanks. Oh, that's it, Steve Webster. He's on the move, I think.
Yeah, once again, the power of the Suzuki along that long main straight here, just showing over the Yamaha, and just managed to sneak in front of Hanks before they got to that fifth gear chicane, over 120 miles an hour through that chicane. Awesome.
Yeah, as I was saying, we had a big downpour here earlier on in the day, and we thought we were going to have the whole event pulled off again, but lucky enough it blew over and the sun came out and the track is relatively dry, except for that horrible damp patch that we spoke of. But Webster now beginning to set about catching the two men in front, and I think Pivarenta is the next one along, is he not?
Yeah, I'm sure Webster will have more success trying to get past Pivarenta than Hanks has for the last few laps. I think the power of the Suzuki over the Yamaha, as we've just seen with Hanks there, just a little bit better, and makes life slightly easier for Steve Webster.
But Tom's beginning to close that gap again, so maybe he's not done yet.
Well, the Brummie fighter, he never gives up, does he? And he won't want to be accused of slacking by Phil Biggs at the end of the race, so he'll be trying hard.
Well, I just hope Tim Reeves wins the race, because otherwise he's going to put the venue of his brother.
Yeah, maybe we can film that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Hanks right up behind Steve Webster again. He's definitely not giving this one up, but now as we come out onto the main straight, we should see the different power characteristics.
They are three abreast almost now. Here we go. Webster sweeps past. Does Hanks make it through? I don't think he does, Ian.
No, I think Tom was following Webster through there, but Pivarenta moved across to try and pick up the slipstream, and I think Tom had to roll the throttle off slightly on that straight. Very scary at 155 miles an hour.
You would know, you've been round here a few times.
Yeah, it was pouring the rain the last time I was here, so I didn't enjoy it so much.
Oh, well, 2 hours ago, you'd have felt quite at home.
Yeah.
Because it was pouring around here again when a big storm come over.
There's Barry and Jane Fleury on the LCR Suzuki. They've been having a few problems with this motor, still not quite got to grips with it, but they're in 14th place at the moment.
Here comes the Webster, having a look up the inside of Reevesy. Has he gone through? And indeed he does. That power once again showing in that outfit. Even though Reevesy's got the same engine.
Yeah, I think Webster just got the better drive off the final corner then and managed to get past.
They have to remember that Tim Reeves is on an ex-Webster outfit from last year, the one that he actually won the World Championship on. But here comes Tom Hanks on that Yamaha-powered machine and chasing down Tim and Tristan Reeves for that second place. Webster, I feel now, will just clear off like he normally does. Oh, yes, on cue, there he goes.
Yeah, looks like Hanks was trying to make a move on Tim Reeves as they came out of that hairpin. We'll have to wait and see whether he managed to pull that off. But Pekka Pivarinta still in 4th place, just dropping away slightly from this battle, but as you say, Webster's now pulled the pin and he's trying to disappear into the distance.
Fairly normal for Steve Webster. Are we going to see the same result as we saw at round 2 in the Hungaroring when Webster that led right to the checkered flag, and Hanks has gone through to 2nd place. Well, what's going on with Reeves there, Ian?
Oh, I don't think there's anything wrong with Tim Reeves there. I think Tom Hanks has just done a good job in pacing himself, and he's up to 2nd place now near the end. There's Dan Morrissey and Rob Biggs on that beautiful Advan Yokohama LCR Suzuki. It does look gorgeous in those new colours. Yeah, they're in 8th position at the moment, just ahead of Steve Norbury and Scott Parnell. So good ride from Dan Morrissey and Rob Biggs.
But here comes the Webster. He's coming through to take yet another win on a very illustrious career. Maximum points for Steve Webster, and Paul Woodhead. Checked flag goes out. Tim Reeves with 3rd, with Tom Hanks in 2nd. I feel those are the results, with Pavarinta and Wall there in 4th, from Pedder and Stedman down in 5th. The 2 Finns rounding out the top 6 on the 10 points. So Steve Webster and Paul Woodhead once again walk up onto the podium to stand on the top step to take the overall result here from round 4 of this European Sidecar Series. They should be happy with that, Ian.
Yeah, and the battle's now on for 2nd place in the series between Hanks and Reeves with 4 points in it. Van Gils 20 points behind, and Billy Gowross will be disappointed not finishing today.
So there they are, top 3 on the top 3 steps. Webster there, as always, number 1. 3rd spot for Tim and Tristan Reeves. Looks like he's going to get that clip around the ear. Ian caught up with Tom Hanks to ask him how the race went.
Tom and Phil, 2nd place. Looked like a fantastic race for you.
Yeah, it was cracking. Really enjoyed it. I mean, we didn't get away, at the front, but it was nice to see them going at it, and I enjoy it when it's like that. And then I know that we're there for the endurance. We're as fit as anybody, so we'll just wait till they're tired out and just pick them off one by one. But yeah, it was good. I like it when it's like that.
Steve, you made hard work of that one.
Yeah, we didn't get a very good start. It's the first. It was a brand new engine, that one, when we came here, and we just forgot to bed the clutch in, and it disappeared a little bit on the start. So I had to go very easy off the line, and by then most of them had gone. So it was like playing catch up. But we got some consistent lap times in, and then when we got with Tim made himself quite wide. It's surprising how wide his sidecar he can make it. He rode a real good race, but once we got past, we knew the track a little bit better, I think, and we could pull away a little bit. But up until then, he was, it was I was thinking, all right, come on, make a mistake, but he didn't, bless him. So.
Well, Webster certainly made the most of that. I'm off up to the castle to get a quick glass of claret with the count.